Welcome back from that break on Good Morning Abuja. Now, on to our next conversation. I have in the studio Oloyede Abiodun Michael. He's a core member with the National Assembly. He is a climate action educator and founder, Lead Heart Initiative, an NGO, with the sole aim of capacity building of future leaders and environment conscious individual. We could say simply that he is someone who is into the environment. Welcome on the program.
All right. Good morning from wherever you have been. My name is Oloyede Abiodun Michael, a core member in National Assembly, serving on House Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission. It's a pleasing pleasure to be here this morning.
Okay. All right. We say the planet is our collective responsibility. So it means it's up to all of us to ensure that our planet is safe.
Yes,
give us more insight on that.
All right. Basically, the subject matter is very explicit. Explicit in the sense that we only have one Earth, we only have one planet, we only have this Earth, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure we protect it. And like I will say, we do not inherit this planet, we do not inherit this Earth from our ancestors. We only borrow it from the generations to come. And we owe them the necessary, requisites. We owe them the necessary thing to ensure we protect it. So what it means, what the subject matter means is that collectively, every one of us, we have our part to play in ensuring our climate, our planet is safe. And basically that's just the concept about it, such that it is when every person is involved, all the stakeholders involved, play their responsibility, play their part. That is when we can say, oh, truly, we are protecting our health, we are protecting our planet, and we are protecting our environment.
All right. Okay. So when we talk about climate change, it is definitely the environment.
Yes,
climate change equals the environment. Now, there's been a lot of talk about climate change.
Yes, ma'am.
In layman's term, tell us what that is,
okay,
and tell us the work that has been done on the ground, like advocacies,
okay,
to ensure that the common man, the
okay,
man in the village, understands what is being spoken about.
All right. Basically, about climate change. Climate change is very simple. It's just change in the climate, change in the environment, and anything that have the capacity to alter the normal standard of the environment has actually caused a change. And it can actually be in different form. Talk about environmental degradation, talk about flooding, talk about erosion, talk about earthquake, and rest of all other natural disasters. So those things are are part of what we can call change in climate. And basically one of the things we can do, and that is where we are actually going, and that's one of those things we are advocating for, is such that every individual, every person's government, institutions, agency begin to take responsibility. And because of course, if a particular section is taking responsibility and others are not taking, so it just be as if you are not doing anything. So the only way we can be sure we are making progress is to ensure that everybody is actually doing what they are supposed to do at every point in time. And we are not just one of those things we can do, like to advocate. And one of those things we've done, because of course you are supposed to be asking that, not basically what the country can do for you, but what can you do for the country. So recently, myself and my colleague, we embarked on a sensitization project across all the secondary schools in the area councils, as long as Abuja is concerned. Though it wasn't a very easy task. Went to Kwali, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Buhari, Amak, and the rest of others. And basically the goal is very simple. Is to talk to students, let them realize that they're also part of the stakeholders in ensuring our climate and our environment is safe. Because over the years, one of the reasons why we keep having climate issues is such that we think or we segregate the discussion away from the students, because we believe that maybe they are not knowledgeable enough, they cannot comprehend. And then little do we know that this set of people, what we think they don't know, in fact they know. They know most in most cases. So and what we did is such that at least we go around those schools. We selected some secondary school, basically public and private alike, and we talk to them, sensitize them about their roles, their responsibility, what they need to do to ensure we combat, climate crisis, and not necessarily have to wait till we begin to see the effect before we take action. So God has actually blessed Nigeria so well that most of the natural disasters happening in other countries are not finding their way here in Nigeria. But we shouldn't now be, relaxed that since this is not happening, so we don't need to take action. So we need to begin to take action, and every bit of what we do, actually affects the climate. And the moment we realize that our livelihood depends on environment, because our livelihood is environment dependent, and
it is definitely.
so, and we need to begin to take action in that regard. Thank you very much.
Okay, you spoke about natural disaster. Now I don't remember the year, but I know that there was earth tremor
Okay.
somewhere in Kaduna.
Okay.
And I think even in FCT, in Abuja, not FCT, in Abuja, there was earth tremor.
Okay.
And I know all of this is because of human activities.
Mhm.
Is there an advocacy going on to tell people, oh, cutting down of trees, and every other activity is tied to our environment, and it might have adverse effects if this is continued?
All right. So basically, as regards that, so because they say if the purpose of something is unknown, then abuse is inevitable. So before we, develop a medicine, or before we develop a solutions, of course, maybe there has been problem in place. So now, before we talk about what we can do, we need to first understand the causes. So that is when we can, match both the solution that we can be able to get a desired, what's it called now? A desirable solution. So basically, one of the causes that we can, this earth tremor that you just mentioned, talk about some other natural disaster, is basically the combustion of our fossil fuel. And when you mean by combustion of fossil fuel, it happens to do with industries, even at homes. Most people, they are nonchalant about, that's why we said it is our collective responsibility. They are nonchalant about, the way they use their probably vehicle, generators, and all of that. Some people, until this, our generator and vehicles start bringing some dangerous smokes, we won't know, or it won't occur to us that we need to, do the needful as regards that. So all of these things are one of those things that, is just combustions of fossil fuel, emission of, green, the emission of greenhouse gas and all of that. And one of those things we can do, to reduce that to the barest minimum, is to ensure tree planting. And that's one of those things I forgot to actually add that to it. So alongside with our sensitization in all those schools, so we also do tree donation, because we believe that we cannot just talk about it alone. So we need to also, put some action in place. And all the schools we went to, we planted trees, both economic and non-economic trees. And one of the advantage of planting trees is such that it helps to absorb the CO2 in the atmosphere and helps to release oxygen. And we all know that we need oxygen to breathe well, as long as our respiration is concerned. And there's this also saying that one single tree can actually provide oxygen for 4 people. So you can imagine having as many trees as possible planted. So of course, it's not only that planting trees will beautify the environment, it makes it green. It also affects, our health and ensure our environment is safe, and our climate is a better place for every one of us.
Okay. Now, I can see you're a core member.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been talking about going on advocacies, donating trees, sensitizing people. All of this requires funding, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us how you get funding for all of this.
All right. So I love the question very well, because it actually appealed to my emotion. So basically, one of the reasons why I was talking to someone yesterday, I said, if I'm not involved in probably social work or any work that concerns humanity, I think I will be more richer than I do right now, because all of what I've been because it's just a passion that my environment cannot be like this, my society cannot be like this without doing something. So it has been a motivation even right from my secondary school, that this thing, regardless of regardless of what it will take, regardless of how much it will cost. So let's ensure we contribute our own quota to the sustainable development of that environment. So in respect to the funding most of what we've been using, most of the advocacy work we've been doing is actually a personal fund. We've not been able to, so get any probably, partnership or any, sponsor probably from international organizations or even, organizations or government agencies and all of that. We've not been able to do that. So, but what we are doing is to ensure that at least we position ourselves, because of course, first and foremost, we are not doing it because of the money. We are not doing it because of in fact, if we are doing it because of the money, we would have given up long ago, because at least we've been on this journey for quite a number of times. So we are doing it basically because of humanity and basically because of how, passionate we are towards our environment.
Okay. Now, tell Nigerians, what do we collectively have to do to ensure that our environment, because green environment, when you talk about the environment, it actually encompasses a lot of things. But I'm sure that ensuring that everywhere is green for a better Nigeria is what specifically you are advocating for. Tell us in very simple terms, what do we do?
All right. Okay, like I was saying the other time, everybody have their part to play. So it is when everybody play their part, that is when we can say, oh, we are moving as regards protecting our planet and our climate. So, and the government have their part to play, and that is when we talk about, policies, when you talk about financing, when you talk about, sometimes when I walk through Abuja and I see the way, waste are actually not being, managed properly, it saddens my heart a lot. And these are part of what the government can actually do, bring up a policy, when it comes to funding, let us, fund what's it called now, the environment space. And, we have agencies that are actually in, they are doing well as long as climate change is concerned and all of that. So all of these things, at least government should, encourage that in that regard. And as individuals too, like I used to say, there's a saying that by 2050, there will no longer be fishes in the sea again, because they will have been replaced by plastic, because we'll be having plastic pollution by that time. So, and one of the causes is such that most of us are actually fond of, when we take our sachet of water, bottled water, we dispose it anyhow and all of that. So, probably before now, it's something I'm always, doing before. But then, immediately I realized that no, I can't be doing this and be, clamoring for a sustainable environment. It stops. So, in fact, if I take sachet of water or bottled water, it can remain in my pocket or in my bag days till I finally find a better place to dispose it. So, one of those things we can also do is to ensure we dispose our waste properly. As little as that is very, very much important, the way we throw our trashes and all of that, so that, it will reduce, what's it called, plastic pollution, it will also help us reduce the climate crisis effect. And, there's these 3 R's in plastic. They say reduce, reuse, and recycle. So, those ways that we think we can just, trash that, and it's actually money. Aside the fact that we aside the fact that at least it makes our environment better, so it also provides.
I can see that you're actually fully loaded.
Employment. It also provides employment
All right, but
opportunity.
on TV when there's usually time, and time is not our friend right now. All right, parting words for our viewers, very short.
All right, so what I would just say is we only have one Earth, we only have one planet, we only have one environment, and together we can protect it. Thank you very much.
Nicely done. Well done. And I hope that we will all protect this environment of ours. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
I can see you're young, you're energetic, and you have a lot. I hope that in the nearest future, we would see you all over the world.
Thank you very much, man.
All right.
I'm very grateful. It's a pleasing pleasure to be here this morning.
Okay.
So thank you very much, man.
All right, we have been conversing with a core member, Oloyede Abiodun Michael, and we've been talking the planet, our collective responsibility, and he has really said a lot. We really need to save our planet before we begin to have disasters. Okay, Good Morning Abuja continues shortly after this time out. Do stay with us.